Well, we're about 1 week into the Shadows of the Galaxy metagame, set 2 for Star Wars Unlimited, and less than a week away from our first big event. That's Star City Games Con Baltimore. There's going to be several events over that weekend, and let's take a look at how the prices are doing as we creep closer to that event. So, unsurprisingly, we are still dropping not enormous amounts any longer, but we are dropping down from what the initial prices were on day one, the release of this set. As you can see from the legendaries, pretty much everything's down across the board with the exception of a handful of things. And this includes what I was kind of expecting for Crate Dragon. Now, that isn't to say that everything's down across the board. Interestingly enough, Evacuate has gone up a bit. Kylo's tie, Poe, of course, is creeping up just ever so slightly. But legendary-wise, a lot of these, as people were saying, pre-set release, a lot of them seem to be more supplementary rather than archetype defining. Certainly not many of them are going to be spread across multiple archetypes, although there are a few. Poe is no surprise. What does this tell us metagame-wise? That's for another video. I will be, I'm planning on trying to post some of my wife and I's testing this week. It's Sabine versus Boba Yellow. Hopefully I can get that edited and ready to go. So if you're interested in that, check out the videos later. But legendary-wise, I expect most of these to keep going down. Maybe some of you that are gearing up for the event, you could glean something from this that maybe there's a lot of people trying to stock up on Poes, for example. I guess we'll see. Now, moving into the rares, we are getting, of course, a lot of downward movement across the board as well. There's a couple things that are picking up a few cents here and there. Interestingly enough, Bazines have moved up in price. I think a lot of people are on the Boba Yellow train. There was an event in Iowa recently that had Boba Yellow performing very well, a couple different versions of it. But the reality is that Bazine is showing up in a lot of those decks. I'm personally not a huge fan of it, but I can understand it. Like, I can't say, oh, that's a terrible idea. So it makes sense at least. Choose Sides is interesting. Granted, it's a whole 3-cent increase, but I have heard people at different events, locals that I've been attending, and a recent case event have been talking about that card, which is, I don't know, interesting is the only way to put it, I guess. Now, beyond that, we're looking at, again, downward movement across the board until we get towards the latter half of the alphabet, or not even that, more than the second half. Migs Mayfield, interestingly, is going up since we saw Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. Wow, that one was difficult to get out there. Moving up also, maybe there's something there. A lot of people may be leaning into Kylo aggro, or, I mean, the TIE Fighter at least fits in a lot of things. Migs Mayfield kind of needs to be paired with Kylo, or maybe a bunch of people are running Rey discard. I don't know. Swoop Down, picking up, I guess those Oops All Space decks are getting some traction. Tech makes sense. Some of these other ones do not, like Vambrace Flamethrower. Granted, it's whatever. I think people are just picking up stuff where they're kitchen table, tribal decks, that sort of thing. Wrecker gained a little bit, but to be honest, I'm a little surprised that it didn't gain more. That guy feels bonkers every time he's hit the board for us, but not everybody feels the same way. We're really going to find out this weekend how the metagame, at least its initial iteration, is going to shape up, because it's one of the first big events that we have. So all eyes are going to be on Baltimore. But that's what we have so far. Like I said, there will be some testing videos, hopefully out soon. That's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.